Welcome back. We're in the recording studio today. So glad to have you here. I got my decaf Americano here. Mm. So let's kind of dig in. So I'm going to talk about my metabolic backstory. I'm just going to close my recording studio office here. So my metabolic backstory, a lot of people, well, I can't speak for a lot of people, but I'm just going to go off of a recent conversation with a massage client that I had a couple weeks ago. She's only known me, I would say, for the last year. And she said something to the fact, well, if I was only fit like Trish, everything would be everything would be easier. And for those that have known me for longer than that, you may know my metabolic backstory, but I'm just going to kind of recap that today. So I'm going to pull up a picture of me. So I'm usually not on my phone, but I'm going to pull up a picture of me from the blast from the past, right? All right, let's go to albums. Let's go to favorites. So there was a time in my history, let's call it my second year in pharmacy school, that I was an athlete all in high school. And as an athlete, entering into college where I didn't play anything but intramural sports, or club sports that didn't have the kind of energy output, especially as a pre-pharmacy student when I was taking 18 credit hours a semester. That was a pretty loaded balance sheet, if you will. But when I left high school and went into college, I was an athlete, but I took my eating habits as an athlete into college, but I didn't have the level of energy output like I did in high school. So I did not only gain the freshman 15, I gained the freshman 75. So meet the version of me circa, this was down at University of Toledo. I was in my second year in the College of Pharmacy. So that's how it started, and this is how it's going. Okay. So I just wanted to use this as a reference that when I speak of the challenges that I've faced and have had to learn and go through, come up and formulate my own trial and error process, I feel it's important for me to be able to relate and stay relative to the people I'm serving and trying to help and maybe mentor and be a lighthouse along the way. Is that I wasn't always fit. And I use air quotes because fitness is, everybody has a different idea of what fitness is or what healthy is or etc. But I wasn't always in my current physical shape that I currently am. It's taken me, I've been weight training and strength training for over 20 years. I've been applying different nutrition and dietetics into my lifestyle for almost 20 years. So I don't want you to compare where you're at to where I am, because that does no one any good. That's the thievery of joy, and comparison is only going to set you back if you think that in 8 weeks that you can be in the best physical shape of your life. Not saying that you can't make progress, but I digress. But my metabolic backstory is, again, I took my high school eating habits into college. I was an athlete and went from being an athlete, a 9-letter varsity player, into college where I was sedentary most of the time and picked up some pretty awful habits. I smoked, believe it or not. I smoked in college, and I drank, and I bartended at Red Lobster, and I waited tables at Bob Evans, and I had pretty awful eating habits and sleeping habits, drinking habits, all of the above. I had no clue what nutrition was. It wasn't until I actually left pharmacy school and enrolled in massage therapy school that I started to learn more about physical fitness and nutrition. So my first step into this world, with zero education, I had a Muscle and Fitness Hers magazine. I don't even know if that publication was still around today, but that's what I used. There was an example strength training regimen in there and a starting nutrition plan in there. So I used that along with Slim Fast as far as to get my initial weight loss. So in college, I put on 75 pounds. In that picture, I was at my heaviest at 215, and I smoked and I drank. But then there was a bad habit that happened after that, is that when I got really self-conscious about my weight and I was seeing the unwanted side effects of it, I just didn't eat. I smoked cigarettes, and I just didn't eat. And you know what else I did? I took an herbal supplement back in the day. It's a very like a heavily caffeinated supplement called Herbalife. It was in tablet form that you could get at a kiosk in the Adrian Mall. I bought that. So I smoked, I didn't eat, and I took Herbalife. And before I started lifting weights and eating right, that was my first effort at managing my own weight loss. And sure as shit, I lost weight. But you know what I got? It's the term that some people use that's called skinny fat, right? I was smaller, I was thinner, but I had lost a lot of muscle mass I was starving myself, right? I was smoking, taking Herbalife, and not eating, other than maybe, I don't know, maybe at that time, probably under 1,000 calories a day. So imagine what that does to someone's metabolism. And maybe you're in the same situation where you're like, I can't seem to lose weight no matter what I do. And when people come to me and they say, Trisha, I want to go through like a real life situation where clients have come to me saying this. So I'm going to kind of go back and forth as if I'm reciting an actual consultation. Let me get my drink of water here. So with that in mind, starving myself on Herbalife, smoking, I got skinny fat. So I was smaller, but my actual body fat percentage went up because when you starve yourself, I wouldn't call myself starve myself like I was anorexic. I would still eat, but whenever I felt the hunger, I would just take the Herbalife instead to give me fake energy through the caffeine. I didn't look emaciated. I still had a healthy amount of body fat on me, but when you go into that level of calorie deprivation, your body's going to eat the muscle mass away first, right? And so I was really squishy. I was very soft. So that initial weight loss before I went into massage school and thought, if I'm going to help people live a healthier life, I need to shift some things. So I quit smoking and I started that eating plan with Slim Fast and lifting weights. So I would say that I'm 42 and a half, as this recording is today. And I would say the best time to start strength training for a healthy metabolism in your 40s is in your 20s. The second best time is today. There's still a lot that we can do, meaning a lot of these problems that we've manufactured from hopping to one fad diet to the next, it is reversible. And people don't want to hear this because it's not sexy. I'm sorry, but the 21-day fix plans that these multi-level marketing plans offer you, or the quick fix, miracle injectable drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy and the other ones that are really meant for actually diabetic patients, not for weight loss. But, that's a different monster and a different conversation. I'm sorry, there was a little bug that was on my leg, a little box elder. Anyways, where was I? When we rely on these magic pills, magic bullets, magic injections, we never build the inner efficacy, and that we never are at peace with learning how our body really works. And as we pay attention to our body's biofeedback through the symptoms that our body's having, through sleep disturbances, our hunger cues, our mood moderation, our energy levels, our cravings. Did I already go through that? Yeah, sleep, energy, hunger, mood, cravings. Okay. When the more our body is giving us symptoms of, say, through how our skin feels, through how our digestive system operates, our endocrine system, how our hormones are operating, how does our hair look? How does our skin look? How does our breath smell? How does our body odor smell? What does your elimination smell like? Those are just examples of symptoms that your body's using to communicate to you that something's off. So sleep, energy, hunger, mood, cravings, those are some different toggles that we understand of. When your body is not in alignment, it's going to give you symptoms that something's off. And the more we rely on external sources like tracking apps, pills, injections, 21-day meal plans, or 6-week boot camps, we're never building that inner efficacy of knowing how our body works bio individually, not what some marketing company is really excellent at selling to us. It's about someone finally freaking teaching us how our unique body works and how to listen to it, how to learn how to nourish it, to feed it, to maintain and care for this vehicle. And so many people try to split the mind from the body, like that. It's like we live about a good distance away from our bodies. We don't embody. We're not embodied. We're not in our bodies. We are in our heads all the time with all of these different distraction tools that take us out of our most precious resource, our time and our energy. We can't get our time back. We can make more money, but we can't get our time back. So what I'm here to do to serve, what role I'm here to serve and provide to you, I don't care if you buy a single thing from me. I hope what you take away from this is that you are unique. Your body operates in a unique way. And I would love to be able to teach you how to listen to that, not the external noise, but truly listen to your body, live in your body, and learn to be comfortable in it to provide yourself care, to care for yourself physically, mentally, emotionally. That's what I'm here to teach you. I'm not here to, I don't teach homogenized nutrition plans out there. I have a plethora of background that I could pull from that is going to uniquely speak to you and how your body works. So if that's something you're interested in learning, then please, by all means, let's set up a conversation and see if this is something that can be workable. If not, I'm going to finish my time up here with this exact example of a conversation with a client that came in the other day. When I say came in the other day, it was actually via Zoom. Trisha, I seem to be doing everything right. I'm doing everything right, and I'm still not losing weight. And I politely asked her, I said, well, what do you mean? What do you mean by everything right? Everybody's definition of that is different. So what do you think you're doing that is right, that should grant you the ability to lose weight? And she's like, well, I'm following I'm logging my food on MyFitnessPal. It set my macronutrients up for me. And, it says that I'm in a calorie deficit and I should be losing weight, and she said, I'm going to the gym 3 times a week. And she's like, I'm doing everything right and I'm not losing weight. I'm like, okay. So, and I said politely, if you were doing everything right, you should be losing weight, right? And she's like, What do you mean? I said, well, if you were doing everything right, you should be losing weight, right? And she's like, well, yeah, right. I said, okay. So the fact that you you think that this app is telling you that you are in a calorie deficit, but like you're not losing weight and you're exercising 3 times a week. If you were truly in a calorie deficit, you would be losing weight, losing weight. I said, and she was a little confused and she was a little upset. She's like, well, I saw on Instagram some coach talking about starvation mode. Is that something that could be happening here? And I said, absolutely not, because I wish whoever created the term starvation mode never did it, because it's doing our entire industry a disservice, and they're probably doing it to sell you something to buy to get you out of starvation mode. But I digress. Starvation mode is really just the term called metabolic adaptation, which is the scientific term for metabolic slowdown, because which is in truth is, as someone loses weight, smaller bodies burn fewer calories every day. So the 215-pound version of me is going to require different calorie levels than a 150-pound version of me. That's just the law of our thermodynamics. Smaller bodies burn fewer calories in a day, or have lower basal metabolic rates. Okay. And I said, here's the unique thing, and maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but the last thing I do with my clients, once they have agreed to hand over the keys and follow my lead in a creative sense of meeting you where you're at, the last thing I have my clients do is actually reduce their calories. And I'm going to say that again. The last thing I have my clients do, and it could be 6 months or a year down the road, depending on where they are in their stage, right? Everybody has a different pace of which they learn and how they make progress. But the last thing I do with my clients is reduce their calories, because most diets fail most of the time. And if the first thing I do is reduce their calorie intake, I am doing them a disservice to actually have they're learning the behavioral skills and create practice and evidence-based tools that you can repeat daily. I am doing them a disservice by not learning that, because the lifestyle adjustments, the skills, the practices, the behaviors that align with the identity of who they desire to become, we can build identity-based habits and goals versus outcome-based goals. If you're just looking to lose weight, you can go online and Google. There's no shortage of information out there to teach you. I wouldn't even say teach you, that will give you what calories you need to consume today. That's not the shit that I do here. And honestly, if that actually worked, you wouldn't be coming here to see this video today. You wouldn't be asking for someone's help that doesn't do calorie reduction tools. I don't use calorie reduction in my practice because it doesn't teach you shit that other than becoming reliant on things external from your own compass. Okay. So we're going to continue this conversation. So let me know what you think after this. What is your takeaway after this conversation today? What do you think is some of the first things that I do have my clients do? And would love to see how this conversations go, because in the next video, I will tell you where I do start my clients at. It's not the same for everybody. Everybody's different. Everybody's mind and body are different. They're wired differently. So, and everybody's at a different place in their life where, to be honest, that's where society fails people. And that leaves you on this diet roller coaster not believing that not believing that you can actually find a way out of this. And I'm here to say there is a way out. And I would love to be able to help you, and I'd love to be able to teach you. So reach out, post your comments in the thread. I would love to hear what you think, where I typically start my clients out. If it's not a calorie reduction, where do you think I start my clients out? And what practices do they need to do daily to develop the skills that align with the vision that they have of themselves? Okay, until next time.